Computer. Hey everybody, it's Linda from the 1099 Ladies, and I'm here with the famous Dorena Course, our space doula. So a lot of people don't know what you do, and it's kind of a unique thing. Tell us what you do.
It is. It's super fun. It is. I want to say one of the loves of my life, and I am a certified practitioner of feng shui and space clearing. But I don't use feng shui in the typical, where I don't tell you to hang a red ribbon someplace or hide coins in little bags. Where there are principles that we follow, but I really show you how your home mirrors your life. There is. It's phenomenal when we look at it. In feng shui, there's what's called the Bagua map, and it's an energy map, and it shows what area of our home relates to what area of our life. And I can start showing you how the two mirror each other. And then the most amazing thing is that when you shift the energy of your home, it shifts the energy in your life. So I hope women really manifest what they want in their lives by removing the things in their homes that are not in alignment with where they want to go. And we do that with decluttering. We do that with the feng shui principles, with space clearing. And then we add in what is in alignment. So we take away what isn't and we add what is.
I know I totally am in awe of what you do because it's amazing the power of shifting your space and even in my own space, the impact that you've had on me.
Yeah, it's super cool. Sometimes it's difficult to wrap our heads around, like what does that even mean, right? And I tell you a quick story of my own life, because I do my own work all the time. So whenever I'm feeling stuck, I'm like, where is that showing up in my house? And a couple years ago, I started out and I was working at my kitchen table. So I actually have a background in decorating and organizing, and then I have moved into the feng shui space. But through all of that, I was working off of my kitchen table because I said, I don't have I can't take up space. I can't take up there's no other space in the house, which a lot of my clients say like, oh no, I can't do that. And then I push a little bit. It's like, is that true? And I asked myself that, is that true? And I was like, oh, there is that room in the front of the house that has the piano and the cello, and which, mind you, my son who played the cello is no longer in the house. Nobody was playing the piano. So I converted that room into my office.
Perfect.
And yeah, which, it wasn't hard, but I was making it super hard. But when I started looking at what I was doing, and there's an area of our home called fame and reputation. It's what we want to be known for. And so right then is when I declared, like, I want to be known as a space doula. I don't want to be, not that I don't want to be mom, but it was like super important part of my life. But there's more, right? There was more that I wanted in my life.
Yeah, like your own identity. I know.
Exactly.
So-and-so's mom, and I wasn't Linda. So I totally get what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense.
Right, because we're always somebody else's mom, somebody else's
Somebody's wife
wife.
or something, or somebody's daughter,
Yeah,
instead of us.
exactly. Right. And so I was like, I want this to grow. I want this to, this creation, this other creation outside of my kids. And so I looked at my home of the area that's called fame and reputation, what we want to be known for. And I'm like, okay, let me see what's in that area of my home. And it was my son's art table. And I was like, huh, interesting. So then I come into my office that I had just created, and you can lay the Bagua map over your entire home, and you can also lay it over a single room.
Mm.
So then I lay the Bagua map over my office that I had just created, beautifully decorated. And I had bought these, blown up these giant pictures of each of my kids. I have 3 kids, and I did these big, gorgeous black and white pictures.
I remember them. They were lovely.
Yeah, they are lovely.
Beautiful kids. So, I mean,
And
who wouldn't do that?
guess where I hung them?
I
In
don't,
the
I think they were right
in the
behind you.
in the fame and reputation area of my office. I was like, oh, I'm starting to see a little pattern. And so then I laid the Bagua map over my entire property, so including my yard. And I looked at the fame and reputation area of my entire property. Lo and behold, it's the swing set. So every time I have the opportunity in my home, in my space, of declaring who I am and what I want to be known for, I was putting mom in that space. I was putting kids in that space. And I was super comfortable being mom. I know how to do that. I
Yes.
still know how to do it, right?
I
It's
love
that,
doing that too, I'm sure. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
who doesn't love
Uh,
their kids?
but it was safe. It's the safe thing. Being an entrepreneur is not safe.
Very. Yes, I
It
agree.
is where all of when we're responsible, like what we do or don't do is, is that affects our business. And um, that can be scary. And that brings up a lot of our insecurities, our self-limiting patterns. And so we throw other things in the way that's to self-sabotage. And for me, it was my kids. It's like, oh, I can't do this because of my kids. I can't do this because of my kids. I constantly and it wasn't always true. Just like me taking up my office space wasn't always a true story. Me saying, I can't travel to this person, I can't go out of town to work with this person because I have to be home for my son. I'm like, is that true? My husband was willing to do it. I just needed to ask. And so I changed. So again, we talk about subtraction and addition. I shifted and shifting. So I shifted things around. I actually moved his art table because he was like in middle school. And this table was built for him when he was 3 or 4. So we moved that out of the space. I put up my space doula sign and my fame and reputation, and I moved my kids' pictures into the area of our home known for children and creativity.
Perfect.
So, right. So the pictures aren't gone. They're just in a new space. And so now when I walk in my office, the first thing I see isn't my kids. The first thing I see is space doula. And that's what I want to be known for in my business. So that's how the work, that's the work, it's shifting those patterns in our lives so we can grow into who we're meant to be, in the fullness of who we are.
And that's a great story because it really shows that you're not throwing people's things away. You're just moving, you're just relocating them. Because
And
obviously, if you said, "Oh, I
sometimes,
threw those pictures away," people would be like, "Oh, I can't lose my wedding picture or my kids' like those things are precious to us." But it's just putting them in a better spot so their vibration is in alignment with the energy force of that section. You know what I mean? It's like it's just moving around things. It's not some things you do have to let go of, obviously. Things
right.
that are toxic, but not everything. We're allowed. You give space for people to keep precious things.
Absolutely. And so there's what I talk about a lot is there's 2 rules. In the School of Feng Shui, which I teach from, there are 2 rules. And one, if it feels good, it's good Feng Shui. If it feels bad, it's bad Feng Shui. There are too many practitioners out there, whether it's in the organizing industry, the Feng Shui industry, whatever it is, who are saying they're using what they value and saying, you need to get rid of this. You shouldn't have that. And that's not true. It's all about the energetics, and what might be draining to me may not be draining to you, and vice versa.
Right.
I can point some things out and I can ask you questions, but I can't decide what feels good to you and not. So I'm never going to tell you have to throw something out. I might ask you a question about something because intuitively something might come up for me that you're going to be like, I might see something. A lot of it is intuition, and I'll be like, oh, tell me about that. And when you lead off with a story of like, oh my God, that's when I had this huge fight with my ex-husband and that was the end of our marriage. And so this pretty vase all of a sudden has this negative association, I might suggest getting rid of it.
Yeah, and then perception is reality too. I mean, if that's your
Mm-hmm.
perception, that's your reality. So there's
Right.
that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And,
So, and it's super fun. We just, we made some changes in your house just
yes,
recently too,
I
which
was
was
just going to
super
bring it up. I
fun.
said I want to use my house as an example too. So I obviously shifted careers recently, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I have a beautiful red front door, and you're like, but I have like a wall in front of the house, which I like because
Mm-hmm.
it makes the house quieter. It like
Mm-hmm.
blocks a lot of street noises, and that there's sort of a safe feeling of being, behind a wall. And but it also kind of like blocked energy, according to you, right? So let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about that. Um, and
Yeah. So the wall, when you showed it to me, it literally is a cement, right?
yep, like
Wall
cinder
in
block.
front of the
Yep,
house with an opening, and it's gray. And so and the energy where energy comes into the home is through the front door. That's
right.
the mouth of chi. And so it's something you always want to actually use your, I know many of us use our side doors or our garage doors, but I always say you need to at least open your front door on a daily basis to let the energy into your home, let that chi come in. But for you, when we lay the Bagua map, your front door also happens to be the area associated with career. And so as you're shifting careers, we absolutely want the energy to come in through your front door, which also happens to be the career for you. And so we want to entice it, we want to be like, come on, come in here. And so to do that, there's this gray wall. Well, what can we do? And so what you did so beautifully was add two beautiful pots of flowers on either side, the side on the street side
Right.
of that opening, to attract the energy in and toward, almost guiding it towards that red front door, which is also attracting
And I
energy
put
as well.
another pot right by the front door as well. So it's like the two on the
Mm-hmm.
outside. Then when you look in across the path, there's a little pot to the right. And then there's that beautiful red door. So just, and you know what's funny about this? A lot of people might be listening just and thinking, that's nonsense. But my grandson, who's a kid, doesn't know any of this information, said,
Right.
oh, look, Nana, see how the red flowers just float you right up? It makes your eyes go right to the front door. Did you plan that, Nana? And I'm like, well, I picked the color because it went with the colors of the house. But here's a little kid noticing the flow.
Yeah.
And you know what they
Yeah.
say, out of the mouth of babes flows innocence and truth, right?
Right.
He just nailed it. Like in his little head, he saw the same thing that you saw, and that the universe obviously is in alignment with. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very profound. In fact, I emailed you about it because I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, look what this little kid
Yeah.
just said.
I
He
love
picked up
that.
on it.
I
I
love that.
loved it too. It's like, it was an affirmation of what it was. Plus, it looks lovely. Who doesn't like something
Right.
lovely in their home? Come on. Everybody.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it. And so the other place, so for you, as you're switching careers, as you're changing, is so you look at the career area. Now, if you look at the exact opposite end of the house, what I was talking about in my story is fame and reputation. So the front middle of your house is the career area. The back middle is that area of fame and reputation. So for you, now go look at that back middle and what's in it, right? What is it saying? Like if you walk into that space, as frequently what I'll do is I'll walk into that space. It's like, if I know that this space is representing how I want to be seen in the world, my self-expression, what is it saying? What story is it telling?
Well,
And
I can tell
change it.
you, I've got these beautiful Mary Cassatt paintings. She's, I don't know what you know. Oh, well, who am I talking to? I love Impressionist art,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Van Gogh, Monet, Manet,
Mm-hmm.
all of them, Seurat. And I went to the High School of Art and Design and studied and spent hours and hours at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, standing in front of all the Impressionist wing that has a couple hundred Impressionist paintings. Love, every time I go to New York, I go there. Love that place, right? She was an American female Impressionist
Mm-hmm.
painter, such a pioneer, because all of the other ones were men and in Europe. So she's here, new ground, new territory, and she's a girl. So she has that whole girl power. And what does she paint? She paints women and children. And when you look at the paintings, it just shows that adoration. But for me, I want to be known as somebody who meets female entrepreneurs and nurtures them and makes connections for them and helps them grow their businesses. I want to empower women because I chase an emotional paycheck as much as a financial paycheck. In fact, maybe slightly more, to be completely transparent here. So these paintings just embody how courageous she was as a painter, how she was doing something that no one else was doing, and she was paving the way for other female painters to come up behind her. And then what is she doing? She's painting the beauty of women, the relationships, how we're nurturers, how we care for one another. One of the things I say about the 1099 ladies, we don't charge any fees or dues. And because men with their networking charge fees because they have to have skin in the game, they do that to compensate for the fact that they're not women. We intuitively refer to each other. How many times did you gone out for a great dinner and told somebody, oh, I saw a great movie, I had a great meal, or we have a positive experience and we're posting about it on Facebook. Look at this painter, my room looks fantastic. Like, we just are natural creatures to refer to one another, connectors. It's who we are. So I always say do business like women. Own that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to pay for the privilege of exchanging leads, at this networking group. Um, so I very much want to promote feminism in all its glory, that the female attributes, our strengths, our ability to love and nurture each other. It's a beautiful, wonderful attribute of being a girl. And totally want to exemplify those traits. So I picked those paintings very personally, because when you told me that, I thought, oh, I can't wait to hang these paintings there, because that just is an encapsulation of everything I want to be known and feel proud for, to be a pioneer, to be a nurturer, to empower women. That's me, that's my song that I want to sing. Does that make sense?
I love that. Oh my God, completely. I love that. I'm like wanting to do my tippy toe dance, kind of like, I'm so excited. I love that so much. I love the philosophy behind 1099, the values of what you have, what you're building within 1099, and then how you really anchor those in your space with the
And
paintings.
now,
I just adore that.
when I moved into the space, I reached out to you, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
tell you, since then, I've opened 2 chapters, one in Charlotte and one in Wilmington.
Oh wow.
In the middle of a pandemic, we're growing.
Yeah.
In the middle of not being able to meet face to face, and I think that I can't help but think there are no coincidences in life. And the fact that when I aligned the space with things that made sense, from an energy perspective, I saw the fruit of that in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And so if this is intriguing to anyone listening, tell us about those classes that you're offering, that are a great opportunity for somebody to kind of understand and learn about this.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. So it's, I think this pandemic has been the birth, like, innovation, right? And I admire you so much. I tell you this all the time, just how resilient and innovative you are. And I think this period in time is really nurturing that, is cultivating that. So I have always had larger offer, like working with people one-on-one, and sometimes for one session and then other sessions that go for 2 months long. And I was like, oh, I need to do something, because our attention spans are shorter right now. There's a lot competing for our attention, as well as our finances, quite frankly. So I thought, I just want to do these classes that are I'm going to pick one subject, and they're Friday at 1:00 Eastern time. I record them for people who can't make them live. And I did a series of 4 in April, and I have a new series starting on May 29th. I could not be more excited about these. The first one is around feng shui in our relationships. And it's all under the umbrella of the Venus retrograde. And I talk about what Venus, the planet Venus, rules, and what happens when she's in retrograde, and how that affects our relationships, and how we can align our home to attract the people we want in our life. So we don't have those people who are dumping drama on our laps, or taking from us all the time. We have the people in our life who, let's make sure our space and the relationship area of our home reflects that. There's one on money. I have a money coach who's doing the class with me, and we're going to talk about the top mistakes that entrepreneurs make. And before I started working with her, I was making them, and it has shifted everything. And I'm going to talk about what to shift in your space. Then the third one, we're going to talk about family patterns, those things that get passed down from generation to generation to generation. And you're like, oh my God, my mother's voice just came out of my mouth. We're going to shift that. And then last, I'm going to do space clearing, teach you how to make your own space clearing spray, which is like magical pixie dust all over your house. Filled with intention. And so that's the 4 classes every Friday, 1:00. They will be recorded, and then you'll receive a recording of it. It's $17 a class, or a bonus of register for 3, get all for $50. Actually, it's even more than $1 more than 1 free. So yeah. So I will send you the link.
And then included with this, though, everyone gets a Bagma map, so that they can kind of look at that and lay it over their home and get a sense of, to almost mentally prepare for this fantastic opportunity, or just to look at it and visit you in the future. And then tell us about your Facebook. How can they find you on Facebook?
Yeah, so on Facebook, my business page is Space Doula. But I also have a private community called Home Base, and you can get to it from my business page. There's a link into it, and you can join it. I ask two easy peasy questions to make sure you're not somebody
A spam bot.
spam, exactly, which they seem to be hitting a lot recently.
Oh, it's
And
true.
it's a place to play. You know, it's a place to really play, and
And
it's an
learn.
amazing group of women. Yeah, and learn.
All right. Well, this has been an excellent time together. I hope everybody got a lot out of it. I certainly have personally benefited from this relationship. I recommend her without reservation.
Oh, and I just love, I just love talking to you. I was spray painting last weekend, and I'm like, I need to call Linda. I need help.
Well, on that note, we're signing off.